Here we go. Here we go. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we choose to rejoice and be glad in it. Well, welcome to the platform rather of Project 365. We are more than happy to have you to join us today. Um, I am Portia Wheatley. I am the founder and president of a nonprofit organization called Trophy of Life Incorporated. We are a 501c3 as well, and we have the vision of rendering hope and encouragement to the world. Let's welcome our co-host.
Hello, everyone. I'm Takira Swan.
And we will welcome our guests momentarily. But again, we want to welcome you to Project 365, where we bring hope, encouragement, and inspiration to the world for 365 days. And that is a challenge within itself. But I just spoke with my BFF, and she was saying, just show up. Just show up and God will do the rest. So that's what we're doing. And sometimes it's not always perfect, but we give you our best and we learn from those imperfections. All right, that works. Well, today we want to welcome our special guest, Mr. Walter Kennedy. And it is a great pleasure to have him with us on today. I know just a part of Walter's story, but we're going to hear more information about his life experience and what he wants to speak on as far as his topic, which relates to purpose and God's set time. That is interesting right within itself. So we want to hear what Walter has to say. And Walter, again, thank you for accepting our invitation to come and share hope, encouragement, and inspiration around the world. So we say, God bless you, and you take the floor. You've got it.
Well, first of all, thank you, Pastor Portia, for allowing me this opportunity, and Takira for allowing me this opportunity to share with the world and with others. My name is Walter Kennedy. For those who don't know me, a lot of people do know me, but I was born in New Jersey, and I was actually raised up on the Eastern Shore of Maryland, Salisbury, Maryland, a little country farm town by both of my grandparents. Had an interesting story. So my father wasn't in my life. My birth father, my birth mother was on drugs at the time when she had me. So I was a 6-month-old baby, ward of the court. And my grandparents came and snatched me up. And it's been, a wonderful journey ever since. My grandmother is the person that I thought was my mother, my whole life until they actually told me the story of, what happened and what was going on. And I'm blessed that I was in a predicament where, they were able to get me from the court. And that my other brothers and sisters were able to go with other foster care parents also. But I'm also blessed to say that my birth mother has been doing very well in her transition of getting out of drugs and in rehab, and just having a blessed life. So we have me and my birth mother have a strong relationship now. She's, getting back into the church and stuff like that. And my birth father just was never there for my life. A lot of Black males have that testimony. But the good thing is, I had a wonderful grandfather who, pushed me to the greatest potential. He was a preacher. So I was a PK. I could never really get away with anything. I was in church early morning, midday service, and night service, all three. um, so yeah, that was my life. But I was blessed to have them, take me at 6 months and groom me and grow me into the young man that I am today. I actually work at Morgan State University. That's why you see a bear behind me. I graduated from Morgan State University in 2015 with my bachelor's of music. And, that's where the story begins, right? So, I was trying to figure out, like, okay, God, what am I going to do? I'm about to graduate. Here I am. I don't have a job yet, right? So, I was applying to different retail stores. My uncle at the time worked as a manager at Target, and Target was looking for some young people that are just graduating from college to,
Mhm.
bring them into managers. So I was able to get a job with Target, making good money, starting out the door, graduating, and I was about to graduate. 2 weeks before my graduation, unfortunately, my grandfather passed,
Ooh.
and that thing hurt. It still hurts to this day, but I'm glad I'm pushing through. I'm glad that I have other family support
Mhm.
that supports me, and other males that actually sat under my grandfather. My grandfather was a presiding elder in the AME Zion Church, and as a presiding elder, you have churches that sit under you. So he had like
Mhm.
20 churches that sat under him, from Philly to the Eastern Shore of Maryland. So those young preachers who are pastors now still reach out to me and my grandmother just to make sure that
Oh,
we're okay,
that's
and
nice.
to mentor me and stuff like that. So I'm blessed with that. So I found a job as a retail manager at Target. I was hurt, that my grandfather wasn't at my graduation, so I thought life was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with life now. Like, I don't have my grandfather here. I don't have a male figure in my life to, show me the ropes, because there's still more stuff for me to learn, right? I thought I had to be the person to take over that male role now in my family. Like, I had to be macho man. I had to make sure my mother was this and that, and when I say my mother, my grandmother, I had to make sure that she was good, the family was good and stuff. And my mom had to stop me and was like, "Yo, you need to go get help yourself. Like, you're hurt. Like, your grandfather was everything to you. He taught you a lot. And I can see that you're hurt. I can see that you're trying to take the whole family and stuff. And it's not going to be a good thing if you don't go get help." So I'm glad that I had people that I could go get help from. But as we push the story along, I was in different retail management positions. So I worked for Target. Then from Target, Dollar Tree found me, and they wanted me to take on some stores there. So I took on 2 stores in Baltimore. Once I did some good stuff with them, I was able to take over one of the top 10 stores in Dollar Tree, which is in Annapolis. And I was like killing the game there. Thank God, every position that I've been in, God has been right there by my side and allowed me to win, because I have that winner mindset. Um, but I always was trying to push myself into higher. Like, I wanted to, become a CEO. I wanted to, get in the ranks of, district manager and all that kind of stuff, regional manager. And, God really had to tell me, like, slow down, son, slow down. Like, I got you in this thing, but slow
Mm.
down. And I really wasn't listening at the time. So, as I was at Dollar Tree, I became a district manager. I had 20 stores under me. That worked out well. But then another scout from Macy's had looked at me and was like, "Yo, you're doing good work over here. I want you over here at Macy's." So I'm switching from company to company to company, right? Real fast. This was like in years. Like, I stayed with Dollar Tree for 2 years, then switched over to Macy's. Doing great things over in Macy's, bringing the community together, doing projects with different Greek organizations, bringing concerts over to Towson Macy's, just doing big stuff. And I still wanted to move up that ladder. Okay, what's my next promotion? What's the next thing, right? And God kept telling me, "Walter, slow down, like,
Mm.
slow down." Of course, I don't want to listen.
Right.
Like, no, I want to keep going. Like, I'm doing good. Like, I got all this good performance, but no, slow down, Walter. And I had to figure that thing out. And I was like, "God, why do you have me waiting all this time to get where I'm going? Like, I'm good. You see my numbers, you see my results. People are, seeing me on social media and all this kind of stuff. Like, why do you want me to slow down? What's going on?" And God had to remind me, like, "Look, like, if you want to get to the place where you want to get to, you say you want to be a CEO over a company, all this kind of stuff, like, let me form some stuff, or let me move some
Mm.
stuff out of the way. So when you get to that position, you'll be good. But no, Walter wanted to do his own thing. Walter wanted to keep pushing on and pressing on and saying, look, let me go out for this and let me go for another company. And this company will take me over here and they'll see my potential and stuff. If this company won't, like, no, Walter, slow down. And that's fine because God had to show me real quick. I didn't want to slow down. So I wanted to keep going for Macy's. And God hit me where it hurt. This
Mhm.
pandemic hit, and God said, okay, you don't got a job no more. I don't have a job. Like I'm making all this money and you just take everything from me in an instant. Like, God, what is going on? Like, I still got bills to pay. I still got to eat. I'm on my own in Baltimore. My family lives in New Jersey. Like, I'm not going back to my mama's house to stay in my. I'm almost 30 years old. Would it look like I'm going back to my mama's house to stay? My mom's like, Walter, come home. Save some money. No, I can't do that. Nope. I just got this big head. Nope. I got to do it on my own. Right.
Mhm.
So I started praying and so I got into a depressive I was very depressed at that moment when I lost my job because I didn't know what I was gonna do. I couldn't get I couldn't get the money from unemployment at the time. They were taking a long time. I had to take all my money out of my 401k just to pay some bills and stuff. It was like my life was just like dwindling down and I was like, okay, God, you know what, at this point, like I just want to take my life. Like I have no more purpose. Like I, I hear you saying wait and stuff, but like I just lost it all. I lost it all. There's no. I'm going on all these other job interviews. Every employer keeps saying no because they really don't have the positions right now because of the pandemic and all this kind of stuff. Like God, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And he keeps telling me, Walter, like I have purpose for your life, but sometimes you got to slow down and wait.
Mm.
Even if you don't wait, I'm going to let you go through that thing and I'm going to rock the boat a little bit. And you know how we go through some stuff and we try to blame it on the devil a lot of the times. Oh, the devil done put me through this. No, that's God putting you through a test because that's where you wanted to go. You didn't want to wait. So he's like, okay, I'll let you go. I'm going to be with you there with you the whole time. I'm not going to let you fall, but I am going to shake this boat up a little bit.
Mm.
I am going to rock you a little bit so you understand what I'm talking about waiting, right? In your purpose, in your time. Like I have to move some people out of the way. If you want to become that CEO, there are some people that have been in these positions for a long time that I just need to move out the way. I need to fire
Gotcha.
them. I need to,
Mhm.
to, to transition them before you get there so you can have a clean slate. But if you just want to go on your time, I'll let you deal with that stuff. And I've had some times where I just had to deal with mess in companies because I didn't want to wait because I wanted to push it on my own time. I'm trying to help somebody out there.
Yeah.
Wait on the Lord. It's Psalm 27:14. Wait on the Lord and be of good courage, and he shall strengthen thine heart. Wait, I say on the Lord, right? Like it's so much out there. There is and I know God has purpose on my life. So I always say I wanted to be a CEO. God took everything away from me. I had to find a way to pay for my apartment that I was in Towson. Then God told me, you know what? Go find a place to lay your head. Like it don't have to be magnificent. Just go find a room. Somebody renting a room. Go ahead. So I found a room. I was like, God, I don't even got the money for this right now. He said, I'll provide. I said, okay, I'll trust you. Provided everything. I had the money to pay for my apartment, had the money to pay for me to get into that room. And then he was like, I need you to go on these job interviews. I need you to go on these job interviews. Go ahead. So I went on a job interview for PNC. I got the job. It wasn't the money that I was looking for at the time. So I was still hurt and stuff. But I took the job because God said trust him in the process, right? So I took the job. And then God, like one night, he just said, Walter, you want to become a CEO, right? He was like, I need you to start a business. You have things that gifts. You have some gifts. And I need you to use your gifts in this moment. There's a pandemic going on. There's a lot of churches that need help with their media. There's a lot of churches that need help like rebranding and stuff. You do that stuff. I need you to start a business. I was like, start a business? Like, I don't know nothing about a business.
In a pandemic.
In a pandemic. He was like, yes, you do. He said, I just brought you through 3 companies, 3 big companies. You know how to manage people. You know how to manage your own company. You've been running buildings. You know all of this stuff. Now put it to use. You're the CEO of your own company. You want to be a CEO? Go ahead. My company has been blowing up. Social Aspect Marketing and Media. Look me up. I'm just a shameless plug. But like, literally, God has been bringing people to my company. I've even, and I told Pastor Portia this, I haven't even been putting myself out there like that, but people have been coming to me left and right in my inbox. Can you help our church rebrand? I just did a logo for a major divinity school. Like, Walter, me. There are so many different other companies out there that can do this stuff, that have the qualifications, but they came to Walter, a big divinity. This is not no little school. This is a big school, and I'm going to release the logo very soon. I think next week, once they release it. I'm waiting for the school to release it first.
Sure.
But God has been blowing my mind. I just did a logo for another church. Like, I'm doing, Bishop Ralph helped me connect with one of his pastors down in the Eastern Shore to help her with her media. Like, the connections are just there, that the people are coming. But you have to wait, Walter. You have to wait your time in your place,
Your time.
because there is purpose. And then after PNC, I went and I got I did an interview for Morgan State University, because there was a coordinator position opening for a mentoring program over there. And I interviewed and they told me no. They told me nope. We got somebody else that's qualified, that has a degree in science and stuff, and we want them, right? Like, I think 2 weeks later, that person went and got another position at Morgan State University with more money. And so that position opened up again. And so Morgan State called me back and was like, hey, I know you went out for this position. You want the position? It's open. Oh, it's open now? Wait for your time. It wasn't my time at that time. Wait for your time to come around. And I've been blessed in this position because I love what I do. I love mentoring young students and making sure that they're progressing in stuff. And even helping them with their branding in the program. Like, it's all falling in line, but you have to wait your time.
Yes.
You can't skip the line. It don't work like that. But I'm going to tell you, if you do skip the line, he's going to be there with you always. He ain't going to let you fall. Again, he might shake that boat. He'll never let you fall. Never. Okay, I'm going to stop talking.
That was good, Walter. Question: how low in spirit did you get? I mean, after losing a job, losing your place to live, and all of that. How low? Because I want people to know, no matter how low you get, God can raise you up and start it all over again.
So Pastor Portia, I was in a low place to the fact that there were times where I got in my car and I was like, Walter, like, you gonna go drive off a bridge today, or you gonna go cause an accident, or you gonna go run this red light today, because I didn't feel life within me. I didn't feel purpose within me. I didn't feel like I had anything left. My grandfather is gone. I'm still hurt from that. I'm still, there's a hole. Like, even to this day, even with me being the preppy Walter that I am, there's a hole still to this day where, like, I wish I had my grandfather, because he would make things so much better. The things that I've gone through, like, he would be like, okay, son, this is how you do this. Like, it was a low place. But I thank God that, he never took his hand off of me. Never took his hand off of me. And it's funny because our church has been fasting lately, and I've been a PK all my life, and I've seen fasting happening before, but this is the first time that I've ever taken our fast so serious. and really gotten on my face and prayed and say, you know what, I'm going to take these things away. These are things that, you know, I struggle with, or things that, you know, are taking up my time from God, and I'm going to push them aside, and I'm going to get in your face, God, because you have provided everything I've needed. You provided. When I got in the house that I'm in today, I didn't have any food. I didn't have any resources, any money. Like, all the money I had was to pay for my rent for that first month, and then the security deposit. No food. I was like, okay, God, like, how am I going to do this? I just started a new job. You know how new jobs are. You don't get paid until 2 weeks afterward. Like, what's going on? I'm not the person that asks for money or anything like that. God said, okay, just be faithful. I got stuff for you to do over at the church. Just be faithful. My refrigerator and freezer was packed that next day. That
Mm-mm-mm.
next day.
I believe it.
I ain't going grocery shopping for 2 months now. Well, yeah, 2 months. And
Mm.
I'm not ashamed to say that somebody else helped me provide for that.
You better not be. No.
Right.
Mm-mm.
But that's the blessing. God provided that. He
Yes.
knew that I had a need. He knew that I got on my face and was like, okay, I need something. I didn't even go out to, you know, say, hey, well, I told one person that I was struggling in the church. And from that time, like, refrigerator, freezer, everything just packed.
Mm. Last but not least, before I release it to Kira, what would you say to African American young men that are around your age who have gotten to a really low place? And I heard you earlier where you said um, you, you reached out. You reach out, whether it's by prayer or to someone that you confided in or someone like that. But I know for African American men, it's hard. It's hard for them, especially when they don't have a male figure as a role model. And those are the ones I particularly would like for you to speak to.
Wow. Um, I don't. It you have to have someone to confide in. It hurt me to my core. Even again after my grandfather died, I was like, okay, now I got to find another male figure to confide in, to talk to, that I trust. Because certain things that I go through, like, I can't talk to everybody about. Like, I don't trust everybody, you know. And that's the problem with our young males today. We don't trust people. It's sad to say that even in the church, like, that there are other men that are preying on young men, like the whole perversion thing. And that's one of the things that, you know, my mother was scared about me. She came up and talked to me and she was like, Walter, you know, you go into all these different church conferences and stuff, be careful. Like, there are men that are going to try to attach to you now that your grandfather is gone.
Right.
Be very careful how you interact with them, because they don't have the correct mindset. And it's sad to say that in the church, but you have to be careful. You have to find a person, to those young men that are out there that are searching for a good mentor.
Mm.
You got to do your research on people. You really have to sit with them and build that level of trust and respect for them, before you release anything like big to them. And it even me, I'm about to turn 30 years old. I'm still trying to find other men that can help me mentor. And I'm very guarded about who I talk to, what I say to people, because I just don't trust like that. My grandfather was literally the only person that I really trusted. But you know, you got to find that good mentor.
Yes.
And there are good mentors out there. I trust me. There are good Black men that want to mentor young men. But you know, there are some bad ones out there too.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I know without a doubt that this is a powerful segment and you will help so many men and just people in general, men and women,
Mhm.
young people, older people, seniors across the world. And we think and we speak that into the atmosphere that it will happen and it is happening. Kira, Takira.
It's okay. You can call me Kara, of course. Well, Walter, thank you so much for coming and sharing your story, your testimony,
Yes.
your experience. One thing I can say is, because I've known Walter for a couple of years now, and I used to always say to myself, so you don't know this, so you never know what people think of you or how they look at you. I used to always say, one, I think Walter is a hard worker because you were always working. And I was like, Walter's always getting promotions. I was like, he must be a really good worker because it's like every 2 seconds you're like, well, I got a new job, I got promoted to such and such, and I got big responsibility. So you're telling me about the new responsibility you have, but I'm looking at it like, oh, you got another blessing, that's great. So one, just keep doing what you're doing. You never know who's watching because I'm looking. But isn't it amazing how even though things you thought weren't going the way you wanted them to go, they were going well, but God was like, I have a different plan for you. Isn't it amazing how everything he's planned for you is going toward you being that CEO that you wanted? Isn't that amazing? Even if you weren't, you weren't listening, well, not because you weren't listening, but even when you don't listen, he's like, it's okay. I'm still going to be there for him anyway, because it's all going to work out for his good. Isn't that amazing how much he loves us to do that? I kind of look at God like, because I used to work with kids for quite some time back in the day. And I look at God as, as a parent, or how I have to help teach young children. It was a preschool. And you can tell kids, hey, don't do that, and I want to do it anyway. So you let them do it because it's like, okay, they need to learn a lesson, so they need to listen to me. So I'm going to let this happen so that they can learn, okay, hear my voice and listen to what I have to say, because I know what's best for you. And I'm so happy that you did that. And even though you had hard times, he was still with you in the midst of everything. And I think that's just truly amazing. And one thing I just wanted to point out, or just to say to others, is, don't get discouraged. You're going to get discouraged, but just don't stay there. Take a moment, take a breather, reflect. And even if you're not a believer, especially if you're not a believer, take a moment to pause, okay? And say, like, what's going on here? Because everything that's happened, good or bad, is working for your good and working for that goal that you're trying to accomplish. It's just a little bump in the road. And for my believers out there, come on now, God's got your back, and you have to just look and see. Sometimes it's hard to see the forest through the trees. It's really hard to see the bigger picture, especially when you're a believer, because you're like, okay, I know I'm supposed to do this. I know I have a purpose. I know God's put me here for a reason, and I know he wants to give me the desires of my heart. So like, God, what's happening? Like, what's going on here? Talk to him and say, hey, like, what am I doing something wrong? Or is this actually part of your plan? Because when things aren't going your way and you realize it's part of God's plan, everything becomes a little bit easier. It's easier to kind of roll with the punches. Like, all right, I lost my job. Okay, it's all right, Lord. You're going to provide. What's going to happen? Next thing you know, like Walter, you got a whole new place, a whole new refrigerator full of food. Don't have to go grocery shopping in the pandemic. And isn't it amazing, Walter? I just want to point out so you can hear me say it, because you just said it to us, but so you can hear someone else say it back to you. Isn't it amazing how he's done all this in the midst of chaos? Like, people in the world are dying. People are losing their homes. And I mean, people who are hard workers, they're doing everything they can to make things go right, and it's just not happening. And that's part of their journey, their story. But through the midst of all this trauma going on, God is pulling out his people and blessing them and saying, okay, everything's going running amok. So now you have to say it's me. You have to say, I did this for you. Because we're in a pandemic. Everyone's losing their job, but you got a promotion. Everyone's losing their home, but you got a new place. People are starving and hungry. Can't get their food stamps, can't get their unemployment because it's too much. And look what he did. And now you got all this food and looking sharp with your tie and your jacket. Some people would kill to be in your spot, but they have to just look in their situation and say, okay, God, what do I need to do? What's going on here? Just like you did. You trusted him in spite of, and you stop saying, okay, well, let me get away from what Walter wants to do and let me see, God, what are you trying to do? You're trying to get my attention here. You have my attention. So I just want to encourage everyone, especially my believers, listen to the Lord. When he's trying to get your attention, you need to listen. Because one thing I've learned from my pastor growing up, Big Bishop growing up,
Big
he used
Bishop.
to say, yeah, Big Bishop growing up, he used to say, you don't want the Lord to have to get your attention. And I didn't understand what that really meant when I was like younger, like, okay, whatever. But no, really, you don't want the Lord to have to get your attention, because it's going to work for your good. But sometimes he knocks you on your butt a little bit, like, okay, are you listening now? So let me tell you what I want to do. Let me show you all the blessings I want to give you and the road that you need to take. So I just want to encourage everyone just to, just go with God. You have a purpose. If you are in the place that Walter was in, or that we have all been in, where you're in that down place, don't get discouraged. It's going to be okay. No walking in the traffic. No, do anything drastic. I always say, like, don't go walking in the traffic, but no, seriously, because it will get better. It really will. And all this really is working for your good. Everything is going to align. It's going to go into your purpose of who you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to do. And at the end of the day, no matter what, okay, when you go through these things, you are helping someone else to share your testimony. So, Walter, I thank you for being open with us, because a lot of people, especially Black men, don't want to share their testimony of what they've been through because they feel like they're ashamed, or they may be embarrassed. It's nothing to be embarrassed of or ashamed of. We all have hard times, and you have helped so many people that you don't even know you're going to reach. Okay. And I just want to thank you for that, and encourage everyone to hang in there, okay? Because it's going to be all right.
I tell you, look, this has to be Takira's calling. I'm like, hey, all I have to say is amen, amen. And I'm look, not just those that are watching and are in the audience, but Walter, I know you were encouraged by what she stated.
Yes.
The word that she said. And whoever knew, especially those from Kingdom Worship Center, that Takira had that much in her.
Yeah, because I
so
just sit in the back and mind my business.
She's the quiet one in the back.
She's on the praise team, but you never heard her talk like this. And we love it. We love it. We love it. Jesus, keep it coming. Keep it coming.
Yes.
But before we leave, Walter, I wanted you to just share the information about your business, the name of it, and we will also put it in the chat room so that if anybody wants to, tap in, we'll get blessed as well as you.
I appreciate that. So the name of my business is Social Aspect Marketing and Media. You can find me on Facebook. I have a page on there for my business. I actually do flyers, logos, video ads. I just started helping out different churches with their media production. So I was able to hire my first co-worker, or whatever you want to call it, on with me. He's a consultant manager for me. So he goes over all of the logistics of what sounds you need, what mics you need, what cameras you need, and stuff like that. So God has just been in the blessing business. If you want to tap in, please, DM me, or you can reach out to me via email at socialaspectmm@gmail.com. And just let me know what your needs are, and we can make it happen. My motto is rejuvenate, rejuvenate, reform, and repositioning brands. So we're here to help you with whatever you need. Even if you have a brand and you just want to re-up it a little bit, hit me up. I'm the guy.
Wonderful, wonderful. We sure will help you to expand as much as possible. And in order to do that from this platform, we would love when you go to YouTube and subscribe to our channel. subscribe. That will help us to get the word of hope, encouragement, and inspiration out to the world. It will help Walter and his business to get the word out to the world. And let's be as big as we can for God, because God gets all the glory, all the honor, and all the praise. I think that is it. Let's prepare for tomorrow. On Saturdays, we have designated Saturdays as hearing from the next generation, or the millennials. What are the other two, Takira?
Gen Z and the Alpha generation.
And we have acknowledged that those Saturdays as the voice of the next generation. So on Saturdays, you will be hearing from our youth. Well, we can't even, they're adults. Some are adults, some will be children. And we're looking forward to hearing from them. So even if you're not a young person, or you call yourself young, tune in so we can hear what the young people have to say, that generation has to say. Some of them we've taught them, so let's hear their feedback. Or some of them are just coming onto the platform. Let's hear what they have to say. And just for the fact of supporting them, that means a lot. All right, Walter, thank you again. I so appreciate it. And you have blessed many people around the world. And we say, God bless you. Takira, thank you for your spoken word. Do everything but
You're
put, someone said they're going to put your Cash App on there. But really,
they just need to license her. Give her a license.
It's all good. And I appreciate each of you. God bless you. And we will see you tomorrow.
See you later, guys.